And here's the car, Bill. Some of the spots I've showed you on the body, you can kind of see ever so slightly there's like a crack in the paint or something right there by that body feature line. Overall, the paint's pretty decent. Like I say, it was painted back in about 2000, 2001. At that time is when they did all the 396 and the SS badging on the car. Pretty decent paint overall. It does have some spots, like I say, some imperfections with the body work or just the paint. It's got a tiny little scratch there that looks like somebody has touched up. It's got a little dent here and a scratch that looks like it's touched up. And it has a little bit of some paint cracking right here, it looks like. Going down, there's a slight imperfection there, kind of almost like a little divot or something in the paint. Pretty decent reflection though, showing the fat guy in the background. Here's another spot where it was kind of touched up with some touch-up paint, like they touched up a scratch on the paint. There's a couple different spots on the just real minor stuff. You know, anything that anybody that's versed at doing any kind of body work would be pretty decent at fixing up. There's a little imperfection with the trunk, you know, if you look real close, most people, you know, they're unskilled won't notice it, but you can see slight imperfection of, you know, sanding marks, like it was kind of sanded body work wise, and you can, if you look real close, see some sanding mark in it to an extent. You can't really see it in this video, it doesn't really show up that great, but it's nothing real big and major. I don't know, it looks like something had dropped on the car or something when the guy before me had it. You can see there's a slight scratch here that's been touched up with touch-up paint. There's a little slight crease or just a little slight dent there, and some other little stuff here. There's another spot here that's been touched up with touch-up paint, along with that little spot. And whatever it was that fell on it back here, it kind of put some slight dents in the stainless trim. Here you can probably see a little bit of it somewhat better. Kind of almost like it did some minor scratches on the window or something that I'm sure could probably be polished out. Going up this trim, you can see there's a little slight imperfection right there. If I can get the right light, you can see it's been touched up slightly. There's another spot here that's been touched up, which is really hard to see in the light. All pretty decent touch-up spots, but you know, overall, just kind of stuff that knocks down on points. There's a couple little spots here. There's little imperfection stuff. If you get way down close, you can see it. Back here on the quarter, I tried showing some of that, where there's like a slight little indent here, and then a slight scrape down the car or something that looks like it had been at one point in time touched up. If you look close enough, you can kind of see it on the car a little. Again, nothing big and major, but like I say, all stuff that, you know, potential buyers would take into consideration. You can kind of see some of it right there. A couple little spots on the door. There's a little spot there. And a little spotting there where it looks like somebody has touched it up with a little touch-up paint. I don't know why, because the touching up looks worse than probably the original mark did. Overall, pretty straight panels. Not a whole lot of stuff going on. Like I say, you can see where there's been some stuff on the back quarters where when the Malibu trim sat up a little bit higher on the body lines, it looks like they kind of filled some of that in. And if you look, you really can't see it on this side of the car. These rear taillight cups, they look to be original. They're showing a little bit of their age, where you get a little of that white metal porosity going on, where they just start to look a little weathered and old. If I was to really go once over on it, I'd probably replace the taillight housings and then the 3-piece trim going across the trunk there. Bumpers are in pretty decent shape. Right here, if you get way down close, you can see where it looks like they touched up a couple of the original spots where that Malibu trim went down the quarter line here. It looks like they've had a chip out or something right there and somebody's touched it up. You just slightly see a little spider crack there, like somebody had filled it. All in all, a pretty good overall job. A little spot here where it's got a slight dent, and then a little chip out right here. A little less tread on the drive tire than over on the passenger side. Tried to do pretty good overall pictures of the entire car. Somebody, of course, had decent door panels and decided to ruin them by putting a small little tiny speaker in the door. Newer carpet. It didn't have floor mats, which I threw some floor mats in just to drive it. All in all, good bucket seat interior. No holes, no rips, nothing like that. Same with the back seat. I did put a new package tray in it. The other one was a little weathered and kind of shoddy looking, so I replaced the rear package tray in it. It's got a brand new black package tray. The headliner, the dome light was slightly cracked. I replaced the lens on it. It's got the original Power Glide center console in it. And you can see it could probably use a sand down and a repaint here on the glove box lid. It looks a little old and weathered looking. It looks aged. Radio, turned it on, but it doesn't work, so that's another point of interest. It's going to get you some strikes on trying to sell a car. All in all, the dash pad is in good shape all the way across. It does have little minor slight cracking on the very corners. Nothing in the line of sight though. Going over here to this side. The only spot on the car that has filler in it that I've noticed it's looking not so good is just where they did some repair work down here on this door skin corner. They got a little blurb of filler there, or metal or something there, that it just looks fat in that area, like they just boogered some filler in there. Other than that, the rest of the door's in pretty decent shape. Door jambs are good and clean and look real good. This window here, the weather strip channel, I need to mess with that in terms of putting this channel back. It's coming out there a little bit. So when you go to roll the window down, it tends to snag that a little bit. And you just gotta guide it in there. Rear windows do roll down in it. So I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes already. Good door panel. Speedo wasn't working. I just put a speedo cable in it, so the speedo works, but it's off by about, I'd say, 15-20 miles an hour. It does work though. Gas gauge works, blinkers, all that stuff, all the electric works. Horn works. I'm showing you this side here. You can see that slight crack on the dash pad there in that corner. Underhood's pretty decent. It's always a chore to keep clean too. We just drove it to a car show this past weekend and brought it home and had to dust it all off. It looks like here at some point there might have been a dent in the top side of the hood or something, or it looks like somebody cut this section of the hood out to maybe knock a dent back out and then they welded it back in. They could have done a little better job on welding that back in, or they could have ground some of their weld a little bit smoother, but overall it's got good paint on it, just not the best quality of body work. Original AC box on the firewall. You can see here where they took the low side line, but they just cut the rubber, so all you'd have to do is just re-hose clamp rubber on for the low side. The high side's been unbolted and they've just kind of plugged it off with some older duct tape and stuff, so the expansion valve and all that stuff is still here. I do have, like I say, a Delco AC compressor, and it's the old axial style. It's the big one that goes in here. All you'd have to really do is just find the line sets and the condenser for it. There's a little bit of the engine compartment. Let's hear it fire up a little bit. I think I already showed you a bunch of pictures under the car. Here's the power steering with the remote reservoir. It goes down to the pump. That's the brand new pump I just put in. The brand new high and low pressure lines connected to it. If you wanted to, though, you could need to probably take those headers and maybe sandblast them, clean them up a little bit. Get them powder coated or something. It does have the manual brakes, non-power. They are 4-wheel drum. It does stop fine though, stops good. No leaks, no pulls that I've seen. Alright, now let's hear it fire up. Hopefully it'll stay running for us and not stall out. It's cold. It does have a manual choke carb, which is not hooked up, so it doesn't have any choke. It's a little cold-natured at first. Once you keep it running about a minute or so, it'll stay running just fine. Does tend to have a slight rattle when it really cams down and it idles. It has a little bit of where the collector on the headers will kind of slap against the cross member of the trans. Other than that, sorry about the crappy video taking, but quarter windows still work. I kind of really like this one too. Pressure. You can see it's still cold. We'll wait for it to warm up a little bit. When I got the car, it was originally missing this parking light lens right here. So I'm thinking I got water in there. I need to pull the lens off and change the bulb on it. I'll have that done for you. See, the headlights work. course, this bulb isn't going to work because I'm thinking it probably burned out. Like I say, I'll get that one changed out, get it working. Well, it is. The filament is working on the blinker, but it looks like the running light filament is out on that bulb, so like I say, we'll have to change that thing out. Guess it'd help if I turned off the blinker, huh? Just trying to show that the light in the gauges is on. See, the blinker light is on because that filament is out on the front blinker there. And you can see that we're starting to come up to temperature, so the temp gauge does work on it. Oil pressure is still good. You can hear that exhaust pipe hitting down there. Just little stuff that not enough to keep you from not driving it. If I end up with it over the winter time, I'll pay attention to all that stuff. Gauge isn't hooked up on it. That's another small things that add up. Wipers, they work. Cigarette lighter, I don't think it's the correct style, so it doesn't click in and stay in, but it does work too. I had my cell phone plugged into it, charging it and stuff. The glove box opens up, shuts. Same with the dash console. It opens up. I don't have anything in it, but it works good. Looks good, especially in the low light like this when you start getting the sun going down. Already been 25 minutes.